So, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Man FM Radio. We are discussing a very important session today, and we hope that you're going to contribute. We look forward to your contributions, but also we hope that you're going to ask the questions that you may have for us. So, 93.7 FM and FM radio. You can join us on our social media platforms. You can also tune in on radio to 93.7 FM, and we'll be happy to hear from you, from your contributions, your comments, and of course, from your valuable participation. So we are always grateful for your participation, people. I'm going to be joined soon by Stephanie. I'm sure she's been having some, technical problems. So she'll find us as we get along the session. So thank you so very much, people. It's always good to have you. You are such an amazing audience. Derek, it's always good to see you. Good morning to you. Senga, it's always amazing to see you. Please share this video, invite your friends and tag those who care about to come and join us so that they can be able to, participate in this amazing session. So today we look at the do's and don'ts of doing business with your partner, your friend, or a relative. All right. Very familiar, right? Yeah, indeed. Austin, it's good to see you. A very good morning to you. So, a lot of people, they've been asking us questions. They say, no, how can I work with my wife? How can I work with my husband? How can I work with my fiance? How can I work with my boyfriend or girlfriend? So, how can I work with a family member? How can I work with a friend? All right. So today we're here to address those issues and we'll be happy to hear your views. Okay. What do you think is the biggest challenge also from your end when it comes to partners working together? What is the biggest problem? What's your biggest issue? So we'll be happy to hear from you so that you can give us your valuable contributions. We'll be very much excited. Of course, Stefan is back. She's finally joined. Stefan, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you, Mr. Lusambo?
All right, thank you. It's good to have you, Stephanie. So we are getting started with, of course, our topic for today: the do's and the don'ts of working with your partner, of course, your friend and a relative. All right. So we're
Mm.
also going to people that are listening on radio to be able to call us on the number that I'm sure is going to be provided soon, and we can simply say it, Stephanie, so that other people can get it and give us your views. What do you think is the biggest challenge when it comes to working with your spouse? It comes to working with your friend or a relative. So Stephen and I are gonna delve into a few things. We'll talk about what we think are the do's and the don'ts of such an arrangement, and then we're going to also hear from you. You can give us your views. So Stephanie, I want to put you on the stand, okay? What do you think are the do's and don'ts, in your own opinion, of working with your partner, your friend, or a relative? And when I say partner, I mean it starts from boyfriend and girlfriend, and then it goes to fiancé, and then it goes to wife and husband. So, in your infinite wisdom, Stephanie, what do you think is the problem? Is the are the do's and the don'ts?
I think, Mr. Lusambo, before we even talk about the problems, the do's and don'ts, I guess doing business with family, friends, relatives, and partners, I think the problem comes in when there's no respect. People don't respect your business simply because they know that you would take them nowhere. And when I say nowhere, I'm talking about taking legal action. And normally, if it's family, if it's taking legal action, you know that family is large. You have your grandmothers, you have your parents who will step in and try to stop you from taking legal action. So the first thing that they will not do is they will not take your business seriously. And also, there's a part of familiarity. I think people become too familiar with each other. I've done this question, I think, several times right here on Money FM. And the question that I mostly ask people is, why won't you do business with your family? And they will tell you to say, the biggest challenge really is being familiar with somebody. So they don't take it seriously per se. I think that's the major challenge. And so when it comes to the do's and don'ts, I think one thing that you don't want to find yourself doing, Mr. Lusambo, is to start business with your friend without making it legal. I think for me, that's the first thing I want to do. If I'm going to do business with you and you're my friend, we need to make it legal. We need to sign somewhere that when you use money for business, I will sue you. And whether the society deems me to be a bad person, I think it should start with there, legal. That's the first thing you need to do. I'll continue to add on, Mr. Lusambo. Maybe you've got something to say.
No, you may continue, so right.
Yeah. So, of course, if you're listening to us also, you might want to ask us some questions or maybe just add on. The number is 077 290.
All right, so there we go, people. So Stefan says, one of the biggest problems, before we even talk about the do's and the don'ts, I think first of all, we have to address the problem. The problem that most people have talked about when it comes to working with your spouse, working with a friend or a relative is familiarity. All right. And people, this is something that we always advise, even couples. We have a course that we call family finance, and in that course we teach couples to learn.
We do have a caller, Mr. Lusambo. Let's get to listen to these persons.
Okay,
hello.
Yes, please.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very fine. How are you? Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is
Your name again?
Charles.
Charles, okay.
Charles, okay,
Yeah.
Charles.
Yeah, hi, morning, Mama.
Yeah, morning.
Morning. Thank you, Charles. Good to have you on the program.
Yeah. As you have seen, doing business with family, I think some of our relatives, they are jealous. You find that you have made you have made the capital, then you have really started business. Then once when you put them in the business, them now they'll be getting money from the business, then start banking somewhere again without you knowing. What they want, they want to see it down. Then them now go to go up so that they can be known to the other people. So selfish and also jealous. And doing business also with friends can also be a problem as for me. But there are some friends of ours who are just very good ones when we are with them. At the other side, I'm telling you, they're doing things bad. So they doing things deliberately for you now to make sure that you depart. So maybe you can company with them after they have seen that the money you had to give is now at finished. And them now, once they are banking somewhere, once you depart with them or partner with them, then they start another business. They really start doing things about you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. Thank you very much. People, give us your call. Tell us what is your advice. What do you think is the biggest problem when it comes to doing business with your spouse, friend, or relative? Have you had an experience? Please share. You may be able to help somebody. We have a number that you can call on the screen. That's the number that you can call right now to get through to Money FM Radio 93.7 FM. Please call us on that line and give us your contribution. So like we are saying, Stephanie, and I agree with Charles. Charles says it's difficult to work with a relative, partly because most of them are jealous, and of course selfishness. So he says sometimes you work with a relative, instead of them promoting the business, they begin to get money out of the business to go and create their own business somewhere else. So you are going down, they are going up in private. All right, and I think that's one of the problems that we have. Sometimes family members steal from you. And I agree with Charles because we experienced the same. We had a business that we involved a relative to work there. And it was shocking to discover a relative was the one even stealing even more than other people. All right. So I think Charles has a point.
Yeah.
Yes, it was shocking. So Charles has a point. Please, people, give us a call. Give us your contribution. Tell us the challenges that are there in working with a relative, friend, or partner. But I'm going to give you my personal view. All right. Like Stefan said, I think one. Let me begin with the do's, with the don'ts. If you're going to work with a family member, people, all right. Number one, don't treat them as a relative. That's number one. Number one, do not treat your family member as a relative when you're working with them, because it will not work. What's going to be happening is that more often than not, you're going to be having your feelings overriding your conscious judgment, because look at them, he's my cousin, he's my brother, he's my uncle, he's my aunt, he's my nephew, she's my niece, whatever that kind of. So once you begin to treat them as a relative, it's going to be difficult. So before you bring them on board, here's what we say. We say, first of all, why should you bring a relative on board? If I want somebody to help me with bookkeeping, all right, and then I have a relative who is an accountant who is qualified for the job.
We have a call. We have a call.
All right.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
You're live on Money FM Radio. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Michael Banda.
Yes, Mr. Banda.
Yeah, I just want to add on that topic that you are discussing. For me, I would just talk about doing business with a partner.
Yes.
I just want to say the disadvantage of doing business with a partner, which is not encourageable, because at the end of the day, maybe you can find some difficulties, and then the business can collapse, or maybe it can involve a lot of
Oh, we lost Mr. Banda. All right, fantastic. So Mr. Banda says sometimes, doing business with a partner, the business may collapse and may involve a lot of. I want to assure wanted a lot of problems. So yes, indeed, doing business with a partner can be a challenge. But like I said, if you're going to work with a partner, begin with a relative first of all. If you're going to work with a relative first of all, ask yourself: is this relative qualified? That's number one. Okay, you don't want to bring a family member in your business who is not contributing anything, unless you are giving them a job. All right. And if you bring them on board, make a contract for them, let them sign somewhere and pay them equally as everyone else. Don't use family members for free. All right. There are some people who have a very bad attitude, very bad habit. They can employ somebody qualified, but they're going to get a relative, cheap labor, and then they pay them peanuts, or they don't even pay them anything at all. That's a very bad thing to do. So in the first place, if you're going to bring a relative in your business, ask yourself, what value is my relative going to add in this business? Is this family member of mine qualified? All right. If they are qualified for the job, all right, and then you want to give them this particular job, treat them fairly, just like everyone else. Don't give them special treatment. Give them a contract and tell them that there are policies here and there are rules to follow. All right. If you don't follow the rules and the set guidelines, we are going to kick you out of this business. So they should know. So if that's if you're bringing a relative, but there's sometimes where you're going into a partnership with a relative. That's a different arrangement. If you're going to enter into a partnership with a family member, it's different, because they are part of the owner of the business. Now, the thing I want you to understand is this: is your family member married or not? It's important, if you're going to work with a relative who is married, involve their spouse. Let them know the terms and conditions. Why do I say so? I know a man, all right, who built a house. This man built a house, Stephanie, and he put into his brother's name. All right. The man got sick and died. He had a wife and children also. The brother had a wife and children.
We do have a call.
All right.
Right here. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Hello. Yes, morning. How are you?
Yeah, fine. This is Chibinga.
Chibinga.
Yes, I just want to make a contribution on the topic you are having.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I think Korean on my side, it is a two-edged sword, whereby some families are okay, then some families are not okay.
Yes.
So it just depends on the family where you are coming from, because some families, for sure, they will help even to go higher in the business.
Yes.
We have seen such families. Then other families, they are they will pull you down, pull her down, pull him down. Okay?
Yeah.
Then The other problem which has alarming when as a man you have a business with your spouse.
Indeed.
You are working. The relatives of your spouse, they will start teaching her to say, open your eyes now. Start doing A, B, C, D. On the process, you are going to discover that your wife has been stealing money, transferring money to her village, even building a house, and you'll be shocked one day.
Yes.
Okay. Such things are there and they are happening on the ground. If you are not lucky, you may find that you won't eliminate you. So that those properties can remain, the citizens can remain within her powers. And those ideas mostly they come from the side of the wife. Now, it should be prayer when we need to open up the businesses so that we are guided by the Spirit from God. Otherwise, it's not easy to run a big business when you are not even led by God Himself. God is the one who protects us. So things happening on the ground, families that remain crying as it goes by. So it should be all depends with the family where you are coming from. I think that's what I've seen.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Chibinga. We really appreciate it. This is great. Thank you so very much. And I think it makes a very good point. Mr. Chibinga says if you're going to work with your wife, sometimes you find that some families work well. Like Mr. Chibinga is saying, some families work very well. They support each other. They build each other up. And we have seen such families. They've built each other's business from the scratch. They've supported each other. There are some beautiful families, people. We can't be negative with all of them. All right. Like Mr. Chibinga is saying, and this says something very interesting. It says sometimes you and your wife may begin to work very well, but family members for your wife, when the business begins to grow, your wife's relatives begin to call her, begin to tell, you know what, Segula Menso, like Mr. Chibinga says, they say Segula Menso. All right. Then you discover your wife begins to be the one getting money from the company, from the business, sending to the village, or maybe to her relatives, even building a house. Before you know it, your wife has a house and she's a landlord. You don't know anything. And I think this is real, people. And like I was saying, I agree with Mr. Chibinga because I know a man, all right? This man built a house, all right, before he died. He put into his brother's name. When he put the house into his brother's name, he died. This man had a wife and kids. I don't understand why he put the house in his brother's name. I don't know why. In the past, people do such kind of stuff. Now, this other brother was also married. He had a wife and children. So do you know what happened? The wife to that other brother and the children said, see, this house was for our dad because it's in his name. And now the problem was this man died. He couldn't defend himself and say, no, it wasn't my house. My brother built and put in my name. So the owner of the house, they took him to court and he lost the case because the brother had died. He built the house into the brother's name and then the brother died. So when the brother died, the wife to the brother and the children got the house because they said, my husband told me he's building a house. Here are the documents. We own the house. Why do you want to grab the house from our husband? And the children, they had all sorts of problems. And the owner of the house, when they went to court, when he was taken to court, and other people were saying, no, he's a bad man. He wants to steal a house from his bride because the wife is now late. But it's the one who built the house. Why did that happen? Mm-hmm. They didn't have documentation. So if you're going to work with a relative who is married, you don't know what they tell their wife or what they tell their husband when they go home. So when you're going to become partners in that business, please let them come with their wife to sign a contract. Or if they have a husband, let them come with their husband so that their husband can also know the terms and conditions. In an event that one of you dies, there should be no problems or conflicts. Like what happened in that other man. He built a house in the brother's name. He died. The brother dies. So the brother could not come and say, no, I didn't have the money. It was my younger brother who built the house for me. He couldn't because he was dead. The wife knew he had a house. Maybe the man lied to his wife. He said it was his house. Have you seen? So it's important. It's important that when you are working with a relative, it could be a brother, a cousin, a sister. If they are married, please make sure their spouse knows the terms and the conditions of the contract that they're entering into, the partnership. Let somebody be a witness to witness what you're going to. People, give us your views. What has been your experience? What has been your challenge? What are the problems that are there when working with a spouse, friend, or relative? And I want to make this comment, Stephanie. Again, sometimes when you're going to work with a spouse, all right, just because you are married to somebody does not mean they should become your business partner. No, it doesn't work like that. Even among married people, if you're going to work together, please sign somewhere. You see what Mr. Chibinga said? Mr. Chibinga said sometimes the people outside the marriage or the relationship are the ones who can even bring problems into the relationship, because they begin to tell your fiance, they begin to tell your girlfriend, they begin to tell your wife, no, do this, do this. In the end, you begin to have problems. Now, imagine the business grows so big and then you did not have documentation, then you divorce. All right, that brings a problem. I also have a client, Stephanie. All right, this lady got a loan when they were engaged with a man. She got a loan and she funded their wedding. All right. The arrangement was that because the man she funded their wedding, they got a loan and then she funded their wedding. So they had an arrangement with the man saying that since the man was new in his employment, there was no way he could qualify for a loan. So the man said, okay, since you can qualify for a loan, get a loan, we use it. And then when I'm going to be getting paid, we are going to be using my money for things at home and everything. So that a good arrangement. And then, when you love somebody, you agree. Sometimes you do crazy things. She accepted. She went to the bank, got a loan, got married. Do you know what happened? In less than a year, they were having problems. Before they knew it, they were divorcing. They divorced. She had a loan to pay for the next 5 years. All right, which she got. This man whom she married is now divorcing her. All right, so what does she do? She tells him, okay, since we're now divorced, I want you to keep contributing the money to me. You're sad. You have to keep sharing your salary. The man refused. He said, no, I can't give you my salary. The lady takes the man to court. There was no agreement. There was no written documentation to show that was the agreement that the man, they were going to be sharing his salary. And it was a problem because she got a loan before they got married to prepare for their wedding. Have you seen? If she had got maybe when they were married, it would have been a different story. So the lady lost out money just like that. This man even goes to look for other women and possibly maybe is married somewhere. But the lady who got a loan is suffering, trying to pay for the loan for the next 5 years. She's stressing. So what are we saying? We are saying that even though you love somebody so much, they are your wife, they are your husband, they are your sister, brother, uncle, auntie, whatever it is. Can we normalize documenting things, people? Document things. Because imagine this woman, if she had put that arrangement in writing, the man signed somewhere, the time they divorced, she could have saved herself a lot of stress. But now she's paying for a loan. So she simply married herself, and then she was divorced, and then she paid the bill herself from her side. She's still paying the loan, by the way, this year, because it was a 5 years loan. This happened last year. Have you seen? So people, when you are going to work with your wife, your friend, your spouse, let's normalize putting things in writing. It does not mean don't trust your wife. It does not mean don't trust your husband. People divorce. Remember, in 2022, we have 31,000 divorce cases, people. All right? Now, imagine you are building a business with somebody who is going to divorce you next year. You lose. So to avoid confusions, you can begin to put documentation. And like Mr. Chibinga said, sometimes the two of you may be okay, but relatives outside the marriage, you don't know what your husband tells his relatives when he goes to visit, or what your wife tells her sisters and her parents, whatever it is. So it's important to have something put in writing. All right. So people, tell us, give us your views. Okay, give us a call. What are your views when it comes to working with a relative, a spouse, or a friend? Yes, Stefan, please, you may go ahead.
Yeah. So, I think the confusion in your story, really, it starts with the fact that wasn't waiting supposed to be an option, was getting married an emergency. I've seen a lot of issues like that, Mr. Lusambo, where people get married and then they have to credit. For me, I think marriage should not be rushed. It should be something that people plan for. You can plan for marriage over a period of 5 years. And because I don't think there should be an age limit to when a person should get married. I think people normally want to impress the society that is not even watching in most cases. So there's no need in my case to get a loan for marriage. I also do have a story. So in this story, it's a family of 12 siblings. So they had money that they were receiving from their father. I think these packages from NAPSA, something like that. So they were supposed to receive about over 200,000. Yeah, 200,000. And then they sat down and they were saying they needed to share, from the firstborn to the lastborn. I think there was some space in there. But you know what I realized? These people don't trust each other, because for me, I thought, why won't they invest in or real estate? Why won't they make a company that they can do the whole 12 of them? Because I think 12 is a very good number to start a business. But I realized that mostly family doesn't have trust, because what will happen is, of the 12, maybe one or two people will invest. Maybe the other people will just use the money. So why not build houses and put people to rent so that the money can multiply? But I think what I'm trying to say is, what I noticed was trust. People don't trust
Indeed.
each other. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another
and
problem.
Stephanie, like you're saying, sometimes it's not even about trust. Like I was saying, you may have a brother who loves you so much, but they are married to somebody else and they've become one with that person. You
Mm,
don't know what they talk about in the bedroom. You don't know. So the only witness that you have, if you are going to go into a partnership with your wife, your fiance, your boyfriend, your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your auntie, a relative, a friend, is a document, a legal document, signed somewhere. Like I told you, that man who lost a house, he built it in his brother's name, but he didn't sign anywhere. The brother whom he built the house in his name died. The wife said, "It's my husband's house." All right. How
mm,
can I lose my husband and lose the house? So she got the house and she won the case because the title deeds were in the husband's name. So you don't know what they tell their partners when they are at home. So when you're going to enter
mm,
into a partnership with a wife or a relative, sign somewhere. Even if it's your husband, it's not that you don't trust your husband. All right. Some people, when they see money, they change. All right. Some men are married to you right now because they are broke. The moment they start having the money, they're going to leave you. There are lots of people like that who are simply in a marriage because it's convenient for them at the moment. They have no source of income. Once they begin to make a few coins, man, you are in trouble. They leave. Now imagine you've built this business from the scratch with this man or this woman, then they leave you because now they are independent. We have 31,000 divorce cases. What do you have to support you? It's only a document, a contract that you signed. So make it a habit, make it normalize signing documentation with your wife, your husband, your fiancé, your girlfriend, or your friend, or your partner. It's okay, people. It's not about trust. It's legal. It also means you are responsible. You care
mm,
about your children. You also care about yourself, and also you also care about the well-being of your wife. What if you died? And then people come and grab things from your wife. So you also want to protect your wife. You also want to protect your children. So your children can have
mm,
something to their name if at all you died. So it has got nothing to do with trust, but it has everything to do with being responsible in your dealings as a business person. So people, tell
mm.
us your views. What do you think is the biggest problem when it comes to working with your spouse, your partner, your friend or relative? And what is your experience? Give us a call on 0771 We'll be happy to receive your call and hear your views. But again, Stephanie, sometimes family members, they have problems. Some people, they're going to work with a relative and then they're not paying the relative. You find that the relative is working so hard for the
Mm.
cousin or for the brother or for the uncle. You don't pay this person. What do you think of them? A robot? They have expenses. Even if some people even say, no, you're not married. He's not married. So I keep him. I provide for you. You don't pay rent. That has got nothing to do with working for you in a business. All right. If you're going to bring a relative in your business, please, if they're not going to be a partner in a business, please give them a contract to sign. If it's a job and the terms and conditions, how much are you going to be paying them? What time are they going to be reporting for work? Because if you're working with your cousin has brothers and sisters, and they have their mother and father. You don't know what they tell them when they go to visit. You don't know. Maybe your cousin can
Mm,
be saying that, no, my cousin and I are working together to build a business. Some people are liars. They're just pathological liars, and they know it. They lie every single time. They lie. They lie to everybody in their life. So imagine working with somebody who tells other people that you're putting money together, and this person dies, the mother, who is your aunt or your uncle, they won't let you. They will say, before he died, he told us that he was working with his cousin, but he wants to get the money himself. Have you seen? So to avoid future problems, when somebody dies, when there's an incapacitation, when there's a problem, have some documentation. All right. If possible, tell your aunt or your uncle, no, I'm working with my cousin, and these are the terms and conditions, so that they know the terms and conditions. In case your cousin lies to them, you don't want to be in problems in the future. So people, give us your contribution, give us your views. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think should be the do's and the don'ts, or what are the challenges of working with your family? And of course, and to begin with, Stephanie, Pakra is cheap. People, Pakra is cheap. Why is it so hard for people to go to Pakra? I don't know what people are scared of. You can go to Pakra if you are scared of those ladies because they look so nice. You can simply go to your phone. Come on, go to your phone. Go to to your portal and register a business. All right, register your business, have it registered, and then begin to write some simple contracts. If you don't know how to write, go to Google and set simple contracts. You're going to see hundreds of templates. Or you simply involve a lawyer, ask a lawyer, all right? Or ask a friend who knows, or just write your terms and conditions and put it in writing and then give it to someone to sign. Have a witness present. Why is it so hard for people to have things signed? What are you scared of? All right? Why are you scared of just signing a document saying, I'm going to work with my wife, I'm going to work with my husband, or we are building a house with my husband, or we are building a house with my wife, or we are building a business together. I am the director. My wife is is also a director. I have 10,000 shares. My wife has 5,000 shares. Or my wife has 10,000 shares. Why is it so hard to put those things in writing? Because it saves you stress. We're not saying you're going to divorce, but sometimes the unthinkable happens in life. Even the most people who never thought they would divorce. 76% of people who divorce in the world have no idea why they divorced. They don't know. Some just wake up and they discover, you know what? I think we're not compatible. Yes, we're not compatible. No, I'm sad. They go and divorce. They don't even know why they're divorcing. People divorce just like that. They just wake up and say, you know what? I think I'm sad. I think I don't love this man. I think I don't love this woman. You know, I think I was in a hurry. You know what? I'm divorcing. People divorce like that. Just like that. They have over 76% in the world, Stephanie, of people who divorce don't know why they divorced. They don't know. They just divorce from nowhere. They don't know. So sometimes the unthinkable happens, people. So we are saying, if you're going to work with your wife, your fiancé, your friend, write things down. Even if it's a friend you trust, that friend has relatives, and that friend has got a wife, maybe a girlfriend or a brother, a sister, a mother and father. They see your friend coming for work and you're working together on the basis of trust. You don't know what they tell their wife. You don't know what they tell their relatives. So it's important to have documentation, let them sign, and have a witness to also sign. In an event that any of you dies, your friend will not come and grab things that should go to your children from you, because sometimes you may die and then you didn't sign. Then your friend grabs your business for himself. Your wife and children become destitute. When you work so hard, all right? So it's not about trust. It's about being responsible as a man, as a woman, because you know you have a family also. You don't want to date to work so hard with somebody, then you die, they get everything themselves. They even become motivational speakers, motivating people how they started when they stole from a dead person. All right? So people, give us your call, okay? The number is 0771 616290. Give us a call. Tell us your contributions. What do you think? That would be fantastic, Stefan. I don't know what you think about that, Stefan.
We do have somebody calling through. Hello?
All right.
Yes, madam.
Hi.
Muri bwino.
Tiri bwino muri bwanji.
Bwino mkamba na wa Andrew ng'ombe.
Kwa bwanji ku ng'ombe bantu.
Kwa bwino wa mwasenza bwanji.
Isa tasebenza bwino ti kamba na ise wa Andrew.
Nenenzo funo kamba.
Yes, wa Andrew.
Ngati ni relative wako. Usenza naye. Ile mwasaidiana omupanga wa contract wa Mr. Treat ngati niweka. It as special monga ni relative. Kumwika pa contract mwasaidiana. Then ngati mwashita contract na yeye ngene samon drama. Muli suppose mwasaidiana again. Then kwa kungama witness businesses.
Yes.
Saidi yake madamu wake na hiyo madamu wako one of relatives wake sign up na wewe. Because once that you are lekelera so charge kama ononga kintu kama bwezana pansi. Yes, they are there, but there are few. Wambele wanga konze kunyamula business yako. So ile tamenda mbeti kulu chape. Ngati grow up funka wa musa inisa ngamonga wanchito mteka tu wanchito mfolesa bonse.
Yes. Thank you so much, Andrew. And I think it makes a point, yeah? Stefan. What do you think about all of that, Stefan?
I do concur with Mr. Andrew. Basically, he's actually telling us exactly what we are talking about. He says you need to sign, obviously. He's also just highlighting the importance of signing. Whatever you do, just make it legal. I think, that's what he's talking about. The number is 077-16-16290. That, of course, happens to be the number you're calling us on. Mr. Lusambo, in the morning, as I was coming, so the driver, before he dropped me off, we're talking about business. Then he tells me his neighbor is selling a bag of charcoal. Was it at 300 kwacha? Yeah. So I was asking him, why would you buy it at 300 kwacha? Then he tells me, I don't want to look bad. So sometimes it's fair. Yeah, I don't want to look bad. It's not going to be okay. I was like, what's not going to be okay is you spending so much on something you can spend less. Have you checked how not okay your finances are going to look at you?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Stefan, you're right. Sometimes it's fear. Like Mr. Andrew is saying from Ngombe, he says, don't give a relative, if you're working with them, special treatment. Because you are training them to become difficult at a place of work. If you work with a family member, then give them special treatment, they're going to be mistreating other workers, making it look like they are so special. Don't give them special treatment. Let them sign a contract. Let them read the terms and conditions. If they mess up, talk to them the same way. So tell them, we are brothers and sisters when we are home. All right? We are cousins when we are at home. We are relatives when we are at home. When you come for work, it's strictly business. It's professional. And I like what Mr. Andrew is saying. Have witnesses, relatives, or independent people to come and witness the signing. No special treatment. Because one day, the people who are going to criticize you the most are those who've helped in your life. And more often than not, people who've helped in your life are the ones in the forefront of demonizing you. All right? They are the ones in the forefront of talking a lot of bad things about you for helping them.
You know, members have got a problem for that. Yeah.
Sign somewhere. But like we are saying, it's not bad to look with a family member. It's not bad. It's okay. If they are qualified, why not? If I have a brother who's qualified for the job and I have a company, why should I leave them out? Why leave them out? He's my brother. I love him. I want him to succeed as me. So I'm going to bring my brothers on board and I'll work with them. But I'm going to have documents written down. All right? I am a director in one of the companies for my brother's company. And I must tell you this, Stefan. My brother owns a company, construction company. And I'm a director. I was brought on board on terms and conditions. Is my brother owns the company and I sit on that company's board purely as everyone else. It does not give me special treatment. All right? We work very well together with my younger brother. He has a company and I'm one of the directors in his company. All right? So there's no special treatment because we are both people that have come to appreciate the value of documentation, making things legal. So I know the terms and conditions. I know I'm coming to sit on my brother's board to offer, valuable advice, and here's my benefit. All right? I have something that I know I can't jump. I'm not going to know it's my younger brother's company. It's my young brother. I'm going to control him. No, I'm there to offer advice. All right? I'm a board member. I'm a NED. I'm not an executive director. I'm a NED. I'm a non-executive director. I sit on the board to offer advice. But for that, it's a contract. All right. So you can't work with your brother or your sister on the basis of love and trust. No, that's a different thing because they have somebody else whom they are married to, or they have children. Maybe those people will not understand your relationship, the two of you. The only way they'll be able to understand what actually happened if one of you died is if there's a document, a contract with people signed and the witness. Then they will know, okay, fine, it was like this. All right. People, give us your call, give us your contributions, tell us what to think. What advice could you give somebody who wants to work with a family member, friend, or relative? Okay, you may add your own. All right, give us your contribution. Give us your suggestions. Do you have an experience? Give us the experiences. And like I said, I have another experience where a man was married to a woman, and then the wife had a plot which was given to her by her dad. All right, so the father died. So this woman, she was engaged by the time the father was dying. So her and her husband decided to build a house on the father's land, the woman's father's land. They built a house there. The man funded the project from the scratch to the very end because they loved each other. You know, when you're getting married, you don't marry with a view to divorce tomorrow. No. You marry saying, I'm going to be there for you forever. I do till death do us part. Yes. But sometimes life happens. The unthinkable happens. People end up divorcing. People who love each other so much want to kill each other. Things happen in the world. So this man and this woman had problems. They divorced. The man said, I built the house. We are going to sell the house. You know, the brothers to the wife refused, said, no, this is our father's land. All right? We are they took over the house from the man. The man lost out on the house. He built the house. All right, but he built on someone else's property, someone else's land. They had no documentation whatsoever. All right? So it's important that when you are working with your wife, we know you love your wife. Everybody loves their wife. Unless you are somebody who is just confused, a morogont. You marry somebody for fun, you don't love them. But the belief when you marry somebody that this is the person you love so much in the whole world. This is the person that you become one with. You choose to become one with in the entire world. That means you love them. All right? So by virtue of marrying somebody, it means you trust them. You can't marry somebody you don't really trust in any way. There's no way you can do that. That means you're a morogont. All right? You're a total morogont. But even when that's the case, it's okay to say, hey, honey, let's have some documentation. Just in case our kids grow up, they need to come and follow our footsteps. Have something written down. In case you are divorcing, man, you'll be settled.
There's a call here. Hello.
Yes, please.
Good morning.
This is Mr. Alex from Tendere.
Yes, Mr. Alex.
What you are saying is true. Even if in Christianity, people take it for granted that as long as our gendramas are which is because there are no documentation or contract involved. Thank you.
Thank
you very much. Indeed. And you see what Mr. Alex says? Some people also just the fear of saying there are lots of documentation.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Just the fear of a document also is a problem for most people. They are scared of going to line up a contract. So, my husband to think I don't love him, I don't trust him. It's not about your husband. It's about you, your children, your well-being together. All right. We're not saying when you document because you think you divorce. No, that's not the point. All right. Sometimes it's just good to have things written down for the peace of mind, for order. Take over when you write down, then you think you're going to divorce your wife or your husband, or maybe they'll run away. No, it's not like that, people. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can take a few comments, Stephanie, and also just see what our audience are saying.
And for those that still want to call, it's 077-1616-290. Derek P. Kamzaza, right, says, when going into partnership, let your partner be aware of the terms and conditions to avoid problems in future. Exactly.
That's very true. That's very true. Avoid future problems. All right. Avoid future problems.
And Ruth says, no friendship in business. I've seen such a tag in a shop, and I think my first reaction was, I laughed. I laughed in the shop.
No friendship in business. And no, I think that's a very famous term. I think I've also seen that say, you are my friend, but no friendship in business. I know sometimes you even find in the compound there's a tag saying no credit before when you're just entering the door.
Yeah. And on a bus,
just you know. Yeah.
On a bus, don't say that the driver will pay for me.
No.
Yeah.
So people, we are very, very grateful that you guys are always there to join us. Give us your contribution, give us your comments. We want to see your comments. We want to see what to think about today's discussion. What really is the problem when it comes to working with a spouse? What are the do's and the don'ts? Okay, we've talked about one of the don'ts is working with a relative based on trust. Working with a family member, then you don't pay them. That's bad
Mhm.
because it's against Bible principles. The Bible says when people work, pay them what they deserve, what they worked for. So don't use a relative. That is a catalyst for stealing. You are teaching them how to steal from you. And again, have a win-win mentality. Don't get rich alone at the expense of your relative. Because they are just also bad people, Stefan. No one to use their relatives or their families. Or find the husband is using the wife. All right. The husband is getting rich, the wife is working so hard, and she's not a shareholder in the company. And then he wants to divorce her. She goes away. He pays her a few coins. It remains wealth. That's not nice. Okay. So some people use relatives. You find that they can't pay for they can't pay a house help. They go and get a relative to come and live with. That relative is working day and night, so hard, doing chores, cooking, everything, a lot of jobs, and then they don't pay them anything. They say, no, Kari, I'm keeping them, I'm providing for them. But no, they are working the jobs that a house help could have done for you at a
Yeah.
fee. All right. So
Mhm.
avoid abusing relatives. Just because you are privileged does not mean you have to abuse your family members. Treat them
Mm.
with respect. All right. If they do a job for you, pay them well. So it also has got to do with the person that is engaging a relative. Have good intentions before bringing a relative. But also, I think it's good to be grateful, Stephanie. When a family member brings you in the business, it's doing you a favor. Sometimes be grateful. But again, when a family member comes to work for you, also they are doing you a favor because they love you, they want to work with you. So why don't you make this thing
Mm.
legal so that you can continue with a good relationship, the two of you? All right?
I have a message. I think that one should
Yes.
be our closing message.
Yeah.
And Andrew said, I'm talking from experience. I was working with my children, and my business collapsed because I treated them as children. Wow.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true, Stephanie. So even your own kids. You find your kids are stealing from you to go and pay lodges to sleep with their girlfriends. Your own children, they are stealing from you buying phones for their boyfriends. Your own children stealing from you because you have no records, you have no bank account, you have no accountability put in place to you have no segregation of duties. Anybody can do anything. No one is accountable because they are children, because he's your
Mm.
brother, he's your cousin, he's your uncle, he's your auntie. They just do whatever they feel like. There are no rules. In the end, your business collapses. Like Mr. Andrew is saying, treating kids as kids makes you lose money because some children they're just so, there are some kids who are just terrible. Don't think for their parents. You find that your dad works so hard, gives you money to go and pay for school. Add your man. Nothing about the dad or the mother. Nothing. Just selfish kids. They are such kind of kids. Selfish kids, Stephanie. They are stealing from a hardworking dad, a hardworking mom. They are bringing their mom or their dad down, and they are happy about it. You see, some kids look like they are rich kids. All right. When you see their parents, you're shocked. You're just shocked. Really? Where do they get the
Yeah.
money from? They extort their parents' money, even in school. Some kids are extorting their parents' money every day, giving them unnecessary bills every day. And these kids look extremely expensive. They look like the rich kids when their dad, their mom is stressed at home, not even
Yeah.
eating properly, not even dressing well. So, as a
Yes.
child, can you think about your parents? Don't be selfish. Don't be a moron kind of a child. Be
Yes.
responsible. If you work with your dad, be responsible. Your dad is trying to do his best to provide for you and your other siblings. Don't steal from your dad. Don't.
Yes, we could actually go on and on, but I think let's get to wrap up just now. It's been a very good conversation. Honestly, this one was going to take us the whole day, especially on parents and children. But of course, as I get to actually close up, with this one says, "Good morning. Working with family can be a great boost, but because of not being clear with the terms or relying on verbal agreements, it can be a huge challenge, and a lot of people end up losing financially. It ends up breaking bonds, and of course stuff like that." Well, that's actually very true. This has been Accounting and Business with Mr. Lusambo on the other side, and that's why we get to wrap up.
All right, people, thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next week, Tuesday, same time. Please save the date. We are always here every week, Tuesday at 11:05. Thank you so much to our callers, Mr. Charles, Mr. Michael Banda, Mr. Chibinga, Mr. Andrew from Ngombe, Mr. Alex from Tendele. We really appreciate your valuable contribution. Mapenzi, Derek, Of course, thank you very much for those from social media. Chisenga, thank you so very much. Mika Banda, we appreciate your participation, people. We are always grateful for your participation. Thank you so much, Lita, and have a fantastic day. It's bye from us.